Okay, sorry I got a cold, but we're going to talk about, this is truck number 5, which is actually called a Type 6. It's a 1-ton Chevy with how many gallons
250.
of water? 250 gallons of water. The chief's going to take us in, show us how to start it, all the different things on the radio and siren. So if you want to jump in, I'll go around the other side, Chief, and we'll get started.
Okay. Pretty simple. Make sure the emergency brake's on. Neutral. Push the clutch in. And this one you got to kind of shove the clutch way down. It's a good running old truck.
Yep. Once she gets going, Dave, you want to, when you leave the hall, you want to show how you turn your light bars on?
Light bar is going to be takedown. Takedown is the light bars. There's a few other left and right alleys, but you don't need those. Just takedown.
That's light on top.
It is. Yep. Yep.
Okay.
And then
the siren?
And then to operate the siren, you just you just turn that on. You can turn this to whatever you want here. It even has a PA on it, so it should be.
So that's a public address system.
Yeah, that's the PA, and it'll, like I said, do. You want to make sure and shut this off when you're done, though, because it'll run the battery down. Pretty simple.
How about the radio itself?
Yep. The radio is pretty self-explanatory. It's always on number 1. That's fire. That's Phillipsburg fire, and then this is the scan button, and then you can go to channel 2, 3, and so on and so forth.
So if you're going to a fire and you weren't sure what channel, if you left it on scan, you'd pick up.
That's correct.
Whatever chatter was going on down.
Yep. And this
if they told you to switch to another transmitter, you'd go on that rocker on the left, right?
Yep, that's correct.
Okay.
That's correct.
And normally when you're driving, you want the guy in the right seat to be doing the talking.
Yep, that's right. Driver needs to be driving. He's the engineer and the driver.
Okay, just one more time. Let's get her started. Push that clutch all the way in. Okay, and then again, when you want to turn your lights on, do that one more time, would you?
Take down.
Okay. And then this one's got a little different deal on fuel, doesn't it?
It does. It does. You can, it's got 2 tanks, and you can just move this back and forth to see how much fuel you got in each tank. This one's full. And we'll go back to the other tank. And it looks like it's just a hair bit over half.
So it's a good idea to alternate these, right?
Yeah.
So the fuel doesn't get old in one tank?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. First thing you want to do, make sure your truck's good and safe. Get your wheel chocks out. Always jam those in there. And that's just a safety thing. Keep the truck from rolling or whatever. And I guess we can go ahead and go through the pump operations, huh? That's that. There's a light here. One's the light, one's the ignition. Yep.
That's like a scene light.
It is.
That's right over here.
This turns the actual pump on.
Okay.
And then there's a choke over here. Choke on and off. And then there's a starter button. And then this is the throttle. You know, idle it up or whatever.
What do you want it to be when you're running?
Depending on what you want for pressure. I like to idle, but some guys might want a little more pressure, so you can just kind of turn this a little bit. You know. This is your main tank to pump, which is usually on. That gives all of this stuff water. And then this is your hose reel right here. See that? That just came on. So I usually shut these off, but you don't have to. There you go. Yep, that reels that back in, and once you Once you've got your motor running and your tank to pump open, you can use any of these. You can run a garden hose off of this. You can have an 1.5 inch here. You can have a 1 inch here, 1.5 inches.
So let's say we were doing that. What we'd have to do is close this off.
No, that's open.
Like
there
that.
you go.
Close it off.
Yep.
And then that means these are still charged.
Correct. Everything there is charged.
Okay, so you can screw on anything here. You got hose up here.
Yep.
You got 1 inch. You got 1.5 inches.
Yep.
They would all go on here.
We can actually give that a whirl. Yeah, just give that a crack. That'll do. Watch yourself. Yeah, that's actually a better one to use. Let's see, off, off, off. This we generally leave open all the time unless you're you know, drafting or something, but your fuel is up here. Fuel is up top here. Pretty simple.
Got a variety of tools on here. You want to just show some of those?
There's you know, if you want to go to, you know, 1.5 inches wise to 1 inch to garden hose, you know, style here. You can do that. There's all sorts of things that this little thing will do.
And normally when would you deploy this kind of stuff?
Yeah, it's in the bushes or up a hill, or you're probably not going to drag a 1 inch line or a big long line. These things work really well. And you just put a little garden hose sprayer on the end, right, and go to town with it. You can, you know, there we go. Throw that on there and then, you know, pull that out of ways and run your garden hoses off of that. You got all kinds of options here. And you can also, you know, if you run short on hose, you can just take that off of there and throw this on there.
That'll serve that.
Yep. And you can run garden hose right up the hill or down a hill or through a field or whatever.
That'll be taking it off the nozzle on the truck reel. So up above you've got a chainsaw, lots of garden hose.
We do. We have lots of 1 inch. This truck will mainly run garden hose 1 inch. We've got some portable pumps up there, backpack pumps. We've got a variety of tools up here. We've got a float pump. It'll take a 1 inch, 1.5 inch fire hose, that orange hose.
Let's just put that in a pond and
yep, you throw it in a pond, make sure you tie it off because it'll take off on you.
And this is probably your #1 first option,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, fire extinguisher.
Thing.
Fire extinguishers are a fantastic thing. You know, you can, if you can get to something quick enough, you know, you can get a car fire put out with it. These are ABCs, so they're good for wood, paper, you know, whatever. Yeah, they're a nice tool.
So what else you got on there you want to talk about? Any other tools in there?
Yeah, let me look around a little bit. Mostly hand tools, first aid kit, couple axes, chainsaw, big chainsaw. Let's see, I can get up here and pull one of those pumps down if you want. You want to do that?
Just to show it, yeah, and there's a step there.
There's flappers here. They're a great tool. These are just, well, that one's just about out of water, but it might have a little bit in it there.
That's what they call a piss bag.
Yeah. You just fill these up, throw them on your back. They're a great tool. There's a couple of those up here. Extra fuel for the pump.
And when you bring this back, where do you put the water in for this puppy?
Just right there. Just take the cap off and dump it in there.
Okay. When would this be the very first time you pull this rig rather than others? What kind of a call?
Wildland fire, grass fires. It's a good, you know, it'll do other stuff, but it's made for wildland. You know, because it's got 250 gallons of water on it. It's pretty small, but it'll do the job.
Now it is 4-wheel drive.
It is 4-wheel drive.
And the other thing you can do, you can run and gun with this if you want to.
You can.
Which means you can be moving, you can have the pump going, and any of these hoses and work the side of a fire.
Yep.
Get her started, arrive on scene, get the chocks in,
Get your wheels chalked.
and get some water.
Yep.
Okay, truck number 5, our little Chevy, known as the little DNRC, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Thanks, Chief.
You bet. You betcha.